Welcome to a Kroxa Titan of Death's Hunger deck tech.
In this video, we're showing you how to force everyone into mandatory top deck mode.
I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
I'm your host, Beezy, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds. And before we begin, if you like discarding and not having a ton of fun for your opponents, then you should subscribe, because we have every single video we've ever done is whatever your favorite thing is.
Oh, and besides, you want to be subscribed to our channel because our subscribers are 10% more likely to escape from the city with Sonic the Hedgehog.
Disclaimer guy here. Just want to say Sonic's rolling around with the speed of sound, so you're not going to be able to escape with him.
I love 2006 references.
Yeah, I never really played those games, so let's just get into the deck, I guess. Why don't we read Kroxa, Titan of Death's Hunger?
All right, do it.
Black-red, for a 6/6 Elder Giant. When it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless it escaped. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, each opponent discards a card, then each opponent who didn't discard a non-land card this way loses 3 life. Escape, black, black, red, red, exile 5 other cards from your graveyard.
Now, the cool thing about this is it's hurting your opponents for not discarding. If they're discarding lands also, they're getting hurt. So
we're wondering why it's worded so weird. Well, if they don't discard, they still lose 3 life if they have no cards in hand.
Which is great.
We're going to try to make that happen.
So great. And 3 life's not nothing in EDH. It's, I mean, how many times is that got to happen for them to die? 13, 14, 14 times.
Hey, Torment of Hellfire sees play. We're just doing we're doing the slow burn.
The really slow version of it.
Also, keep in mind with escape commanders, once they die, as long as you have enough cards in your graveyard, just don't put in the command zone. Just keep escaping it.
You can, I mean, even if you don't have enough cards, you can just wait till later.
Yeah, this thing taxes at 4. After that, like just after it dies once, I'm never putting it in the command zone unless I have to. Because it always costs 4 to escape.
I mean, I might put in the command zone once in a while. Like, maybe if I want to go discard again.
If the whole situation demands it, but I'd say default, just try to escape.
That's fair, because...
What deck did we even build?
We built Tribal Discard.
We built let's have no one have cards in hand, and then we have a 6/6 that destroys them.
We have a 6/6 that destroys them, and also we have a ton of ways to pay off those discards,
yes.
Which we're going to get into.
What's crazy is this guy attacks for 12. If no one can discard, just 12 damage every time.
More than.
Oh no, yeah, it's 9 and 6. It's 15.
Yeah, I was just
15 damage.
Yeah, 15 damage if nobody has cards in hand.
Your opponents don't have many groups of 15 life before they all just lose.
This card's strong. This card's very strong.
Yeah, definitely. And we're gonna force the game to a complete standstill, but we have a bunch of enchantments in play.
Yep, so we're gonna go straight into forcing discard. So we're just making our opponents discard cards. Sometimes we're making us discard cards.
If you don't respect this, just skip to the next category and pretend like this isn't in the deck. But this is like the bread and butter of the deck. You know, if you don't like discard and you're like, ugh, these guys, ugh, disgusting, just skip ahead.
No, there's a lot of discard spells, so let's get right into them. Vicious Rumors, this is a weird one.
Basically, each opponent discards a card. That's fine, you pay. You don't discard a card, so it's just 1 card for you, and then everyone has to discard a card. So it's fine. It ends up being card advantage, right? We pay 1 card, we get rid of 3. Although it's the worst card in their hand. But the whole point of these first 5 is, it's just critical mass. We cast like 2 or 3 of these and no one has a card in hand at all. Tasker's Cruelty has Delve, each opponent discards 2. Delirium Skeins is 3 mana, each player discards 3.
Including
that
you.
includes you.
Yep.
Hopefully you have no cards left or you don't care. Arterial Flow makes each opponent discard 2. That only costs 3 mana. That's pretty efficient. And then if you have a Vampire, randomly you gain some life.
Wait. Is there vampires in the deck?
There's like 2.
Okay,
I was literally 1 or 2. Mind Rake, you can have target player discard 2, or each player discard 2 for cheaper, for Overload. That's save it if it's the last card in your hand or one of the last cards that you don't care about.
Yeah, it's like 2 to overload it, right?
Yeah, it's 3 to cast, 2 to overload.
We're always going to overload this card in this deck because we want everyone to discard. Mind Routing is not what we want to do with this card, almost ever.
In the next category, I'll explain pretty clearly why we want everybody to discard so many cards. Siphon Mind makes them all discard 1, but then you're going to draw 3 off of it, most likely. Siphon Mind is probably the worst one.
Well, I mean, each opponent discards a card and you draw cards equal to the number of cards discarded this way.
That's why it's the worst one. Because if you're doing your job, you're not going to draw any cards.
Well, you might.
Well, I'm saying if you do your job, no one has any cards in hand, then you cast this and does nothing.
There's going to be times when it's going to.
Don't worry. These cards all suck if we're winning, but we got ways to even deal with that. We know that these cards are bad, and we're going to exchange them for better cards later. Okay, a couple creatures that enter the battlefield or force opponents to discard. Burglar Rat, Liliana Spectre, and Rotting Rats all say, when they enter, each opponent or each player discards a card. Rotting Rats has Unearth as a bonus. Stronghold Rats is unblockable, and when it hits, you get to make everyone discard.
Everyone discards when it hits one person?
It has Shadow, yeah.
What a weird card.
I don't know. Every card with Shadow is a weird card, and it's from Future Sight.
It's a weird card. Why do rats, what's with the theme of rats make people discard?
I think it's, well, discarding is going crazy.
So,
Rats carry like diseases.
Fair enough. That's a good enough reason. Bottomless Pit.
It's 1 black for an enchantment. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, they discard a card. This card is, I think this card's really good because let's say it's turn 3. We play it. Now, no one's gonna kill it. Really, no one's holding up like instant speed removal on turn 3 or 2. So it's gonna resolve, and then it's gonna go to the next player. They have to discard, they're not missing that. So now, they just discarded a card. They don't wanna kill this, at least right away, because they already suffered the consequence. And they're gonna want the other 2 people to suffer the consequence. So minimum, it's each opponent discards. And it just keeps going around like that, and just going around. It's like Sulfuric Vortex. Well, it already hit me. Except Sulfuric Vortex, I think is terrible.
It's not.
A card is way better than 2 life.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Next card, Gyreach Sanitarium. Everyone draws a card, everyone discards a card. It's a land. You pay 2.
When it enters, what?
It's a land.
Okay.
It makes a wingding.
Okay.
Or you can pay 2 and tap it. Everyone draws a card, everyone discards a card.
This is great because the actual motion of discarding is what we want. So even if people are empty-handed, we can force them to discard cards and filter our own hand.
Basically, mill them one, essentially.
Way better than that.
Well, but it counts as discard.
We're gonna want to say the discard number. Okay, we also have planeswalkers that make people discard to really push the advantage even farther because both these cards are pretty good.
Ungrath the Flame Chained, 3 black-red for an Engrath, 4 loyalty planeswalker. +1. Each opponent discards a card and loses 2 life.
Ding, ding, ding.
That's the one we want. That's pretty much the only reason we want this card, but it has more attack, so I'll read it. -3, gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap it, it gains haste until end of turn. Right. Well, yeah, it says until end of turn twice in there. I thought I was reading it wrong because that's such a weird way to word it.
It's a meaty ability.
Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step if it has converted mana cost 3 or less. -8. Each opponent loses life equal to the number of cards in his or her graveyard.
Even that one's not that bad. We're trying to spam the plus. Get everyone down to no cards. And then Engrath's just gonna stick around because there's nothing to threaten him.
Ugh, he's so mean if they have a commander that costs 3 or less. Take the commander.
I'll take that, hit you with it, get some kind of trigger, maybe an ETB or an exit the battlefield thing, and it's gone.
Yeah, it's kind of mean. It's mean to commanders that don't cost.
Oh, this deck's mean? Yeah, it is. Although sometimes it's fun to play in top deck mode.
Next, planeswalker is Liliana the Veil.
You may have heard of her if you play Modern. She's 1 black for 3 loyalty Liliana. +1, each player discards a card. This is 3 mana. -2, target player sacrifices a creature. Is that better or worse than Engrath's ability? Probably worse.
Worse.
Because they're going to sacrifice the worst thing. And then -6, you split someone's permanents into 2 piles, they pick one, and the other one goes away.
These don't matter.
No, you're really not doing those things.
3, playing this on turn 3 or 2 potentially, depending if you have a soul ring or not.
This is functionally identical to Bottomless Pit, except they can attack it, but you get the effect right away.
Yeah, like I said, if you play this on turn 2, it's going to be super annoying.
Turn 2. Then you're discarding lands and late game threats at that point, because I just want to ramp. If I know that you're doing this, I need to ramp and draw cards, and everything else is gone.
Also, you're threatening ultimate if you play it on turn 2, which is possible. I'm saying
it's possible, but nobody really.
I'm saying Soul Ring. Soul Ring is a plausible card to draw with Liliana the Veil.
Well, no, I'm just saying an ultimate's not that good because it's 1 player.
Well, yeah, but you can kill 1 player basically.
Kinda.
You can hurt
them.
You can certainly cripple their legs.
Yes. All right. Well, we don't need to go into the minutia of Lily Veil piles. We got a couple more that are going to force everyone to discard all their hands.
All their hands? All the cards in their hands?
All of their hand.
All their hand. Yep. So Dark Deal, 2 and a black. Everybody discards their hand and draws 1 less card.
Right. So they're down a card. They're down all of their plans. Whatever they had going on is gone. And all the cards in your deck are just the same, so you don't care.
Yeah. When you discarded Burglar Rats and drew Liliana Spectre.
You drew Rotting Rats. Yeah. Okay. No. Or you drew one of the cards that actually does something in your deck.
All right.
Awaken the Erstwhile. 5 mana, straight up, everyone discards their hand. I love this card. And they get a 2/2 zombie for each card they discarded. That doesn't really matter as much, because they're just gonna all bounce into each other and die.
Yeah, there's just a bunch of zombies that just stare at each other, basically.
The only thing anyone can really do that matters is attack you with all of them. I don't even really think that is that threatening though.
I guess if all the players at the table are mad about this, then it's troublesome because
No,
now
if I have, let's say you have a 3/3 in play, I literally, then I just don't care.
Well, I'm
because
saying-
they go, run all of them, you guys, trade off, and they're only discarding 4 or 5 cards max once you get to turn 5.
Well, I was just saying, like, then the other guy runs all theirs into you, and then the other guy runs all theirs
Well, that's what I'm saying,
into
if you have a 3/3, pretty much negates that threat.
yours. How many 3/3s are we playing?
Couple.
I-
I can think of at least one.
What was it?
Sangromancer's in this deck.
Okay.
Boom. 3/3. Sire of Insanity. Every end step, everyone discards their hand. I love this card. It's a 6/4 for 6. It's one of the only shining lights out of Dragon's Maze.
We say that for every card we mentioned from Dragon's Maze, but it's just not true.
It's this one. This is every card we mentioned from Dragon's Maze.
No, we mentioned more. The commanders are better than
We
we
mentioned
give
them
credit
because
for.
we counted down every single commander.
Yeah, but-
Hey, just subscribe, check that out.
And then we go, oh hey, this one's actually pretty good. Oh hey, this one's actually pretty good.
No,
We did that a lot.
whatever. Mind Slicer, 4 mana for a 4/3. When it dies, each player discards their hand. If you have a sack outlet, wait until somebody's draw step. Get that extra card.
Yeah, and make that player extra mad.
They're like, why me? It's like, I don't know.
You're the next player in line.
Yeah, it was tough.
You sat to the left of me like an idiot.
Yeah, so we have all these cards that make everybody discard, but like, what's in it for us? Well, this.
Well, we have Waste Not, which, God, Waste Not has so much text on it. And because it has so much text on it, does so much with discarding, it's also the Gourmet Bagel.
AKA the best card in this deck. We said everything else is bread and butter. This is the best card, AKA Gourmet Bagel.
So, we have 1 black for an enchantment. Whenever an opponent discards a creature card, create a 2/2 zombie creature token. Whenever an opponent discards a land, add black to your mana pool. Whenever an opponent discards a non-creature, non-land card, draw a card. This card's insane.
Why don't you curve this into Awaken the Erstwhile? See how many zombies you get compared to what they get.
See how many zombies you get, see how much mana you get, and see how much, like,
Well, you're not done casting spells after you cast that then.
It's
Because
so
you're gonna
good.
get like 8 mana, draw like 4 cards, and get 4 zombies. That's being reasonable.
it's so good. So, Megrim and the Land's Crest are basically the same card. Whenever an opponent discards a card, they lose 2 life.
Great.
Yeah.
Just, it's gonna add up over time. And it's not something I wanna kill immediately if I'm an opponent.
Yeah, those ones are simple. I don't really need to go into detail on why those are good.
Gets Grimoire is a 4 mana artifact. Whenever an opponent discards a card, you draw a card. This is, if I had to create a card custom for this deck, it would probably be an exact copy of this card.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this card's great.
It's nasty. Oh my, they're discarding their whole hand and you're gonna draw like your whole deck.
Oh, card is. Mwah.
Chef's Kiss, absolutely amazing. Very close to as good as Waste Not. Waste Not, I think the part of Waste Not that makes it the Gourmet Bagel is the mana.
Oh, the mana, getting all the mana and drawing cards is insane.
It just lets you chain stupid burglar rats into more burglar rats.
Yeah, the card is great. Card is just.
And it breaks the symmetry of the whole discard effect real fast. A couple other payoffs for you. We mentioned Sangromancer. Whenever they discard a card or a creature they control dies, you gain 3 life. Glenhorn Buccaneer, I'm not really going to go into it. It's a 2/4. Whenever you discard a card, they take 1 damage, all your opponents. And Archfiend of Ifnir has cycling, but also whenever you cycle or discard a card, you shrink their whole team by a -1/-1 counter.
He's also a 5 mana 5/4 flyer. He's got a decent body on him.
Ooh, what about Awaken the Erstwhile, let that guy out?
Yeah, and then cycled a card or 2.
Don't you just get it?
Oh yeah, the whole card's gonna resolve. All
The whole
triggers
card
gonna-
resolves, and then you get like 8 discard triggers, and you kill those zombies.
Okay, yeah, you would kill all their zombies, so that'd be pretty good. So they would just
that
get
would be
nothing.
not bad. What about some Madness cards?
Well, we have Gibbering Descent, which is my favorite one. I can't even think of what this costs normally,
6.
but I know it's cycle. But Madness is in for 4. 4 black for an enchantment. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player loses 1 life and discards a card. Hellbent. Skip your upkeep if you have no cards in your hand. I love that text.
That's right. Skip your upkeep.
Or Madness for 2 black. Skip your upkeep? Come on. How many cards say skip your upkeep on it?
Now, how many cards have an upside of skip your upkeep? Like, oh, thank God, I get to skip my upkeep.
I don't even. Do we have any other upkeep triggers? Off the top of my head, there's
Almost none. Let's just say almost none. I mean, there is the Bottomless Pit, which also forces you to discard in your upkeep.
BAM!
Boom. That's just called great deck building right there. Call to the Netherworld is just 1 black, return a black creature from your graveyard to your hand, but it madnesses for 0. So if you ever happen to randomly discard this, you just get a free creature. It doesn't get discarded.
Yeah.
1 free pass of you don't have to discard a card, which that's super relevant.
It's not nothing.
No, it's great. I'll take any of those. If there was more Call to the Netherworlds, I'd play all of them.
Every Call of Netherworld?
I mean, hopefully they do other things.
No.
Bone Miser is, okay, it's 4 and a black for a 2/2. The text is exactly Waste Not, but it's for you.
It made me think, he's Mr. Bone Miser. He's Mr. Death. Do.
Okay. Okay. His friends call him Bone Miser. Faith of the Devoted is the last one. I'm just not even going to go into that. It's as good as Waste Not. Well, it's worse than Waste Not, but it's for you, and it's a creature. Get it back with Call to the Netherworld. Faith of the Devoted, 2 black for an enchantment. Whenever you cycle or discard, you can pay 1. If you do, each opponent loses 2, and you gain 2.
So what does the Bag of Holding do? Because Bag of Holding's sweet.
Well, that's what Faith of the Devoted does, and we're not going to talk about it at all. Bag of Holding, 1 mana for an artifact. Pay 2, tap it, draw a card, then discard a card. Whenever you discard a card, you can put it essentially under Bag of Holding after you discard it. And then you can pay 4 and sacrifice the bag, get everything back that you discarded since this was in play, which is going to say draw 10 cards.
Bag of Holding's great. I didn't care about the card. The other card was like, yeah, it does what it does. Bag of Holding, it does so much more.
Yeah, this deck is incremental damage over time that just builds up, and they have no way to stop it because they have no cards in hand. That's the deck. Faith of the Devoted, Liliana's Caress, Migrim, Gibbering Descent. They're gonna take 1, 2, 1, 2. This guy, our commander, 3 each. 6. Somebody takes 6. And then they just end up dying.
How did you pronounce that?
Gibbering Descent?
Migrim?
Migrim?
Yeah, you said it weird.
Migrim? I don't remember.
I don't know.
I don't really listen to myself. Bag of Holding, though, is amazing.
I just say things.
Bag of Holding not only lets you draw and discard an extra card every turn, dig for threats, discard these rats and stuff that you don't need because there's no cards in anyone's hand. Find your bombs, fill your graveyard. Bag of Holding is great.
Yeah.
3rd best card in the deck? 2nd best card? 3rd best card?
I don't know. I'm not gonna.
I'm not gonna
go.
100.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not gonna go through the whole deck and rank every card. It's kind
We
of
rank every commander, not every card in every commander deck.
yeah. Like realistically, where do you put lands? They're really important. All right, we're done talking about that. Escape Clause is next.
We can now recognize when we're going off on a BS tangent. We can kind of cut it short.
Escape Clause is next, which we need to escape. First things first. It's really easy to fill your graveyard for an escape when you're throwing all your cards in your hand into your graveyard.
Man, how am I supposed to fill my graveyard? I guess the Sire of Insanity can help.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry. Awaken the Inner Spiral. All those cards that you throw away your hand and then you use your hand to play your commander.
Bag of Holding, Gyre Reach Sanitarium, Cycling lands. We only have 3 cards in this category. Cathartic Reunion, 1 on a red. As an additional cost to cast it, discard 2 cards. Draw 3. So this puts 3 cards in your graveyard by itself, filters the trash into treasure. Not literal treasure tokens.
Also, not literally the card trash or treasure.
Yeah, filters the trash into awesome stuff.
Yeah.
And it's going to keep you in the game when you are drawing the wrong part of your deck. Same with Faithless Looting, we all know what that does. But Tectonic Reformation is a cute one. It's 1 in a red for an enchantment. Your lands have cycling for a red. So any land you ever draw, you can cycle for a red.
Something I like about this card is you go into top deck mode a lot. So if you have this card in the field,
you can't draw lands.
You draw a land? No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, you have no lands and you didn't want to draw Tectonic Reformation? It has cycling for 2.
Oh, yeah? Hell.
This card does no wrong. Okay.
I was excited.
Yeah. Or you were trying to not swear.
Yep, that was the one.
We did it. This video is approved for kids. Thank you, Kappa.
Thank you, what?
Kappa.
Kappa.
Child. The Obscuring Protection Parent Act.
Okay. Obscuring is obviously the O. Winning the game.
Winning the game category. It's the final category. Every deck has to win the game. If yours doesn't, check yourself. Go back and look at your deck because you have to win the game.
Yeah, you do have to win the game. Blood Chief Ascension costs 1 black mana for an enchantment. At the beginning of each end step, if an opponent lost 2 or more life this turn, you may put a quest counter on Blood Chief Ascension. Whenever a card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, if Blood Chief Ascension has 3 or more quest counters on it, you may have that player lose 2 life. If you do, you gain 2 life. Weird that it's...
You don't have to?
Yeah, I was just going to say, weird that you just don't have to make them lose 2 life.
If they mill, if a creature dies, if they discard, if that's probably the only ways that can happen. But if anything goes in there for any reason, they lose 2 and you gain 2. This is going to kill people so fast.
Well, it's not just creatures. If you strip mine them, they lose 2 life.
A card, yeah, if they fetch with a land, they lose 3 life.
They lose 2 life and you gain 2 life.
Sweet. This card is sweet. It's slow, but the strength of this deck is you get to just play your payoffs and then make everybody discard it. Then there's just no way for them to interact with it. You only need, let's say, 2 of any payoff in the deck, like 1 Migrim and 1 Blood Chief. And now nobody has hands because we're filled our deck with only stupid burglar rats that do that. So that this thing just sticks and they lose.
I mean, it's really, 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 really easy to have opponents lose 2 life, and it's just so simple. It's like if someone attacks with a Solemn Simulacrum at their opponent, they lose 2 life, and then you get a counter on this. That's pretty sweet.
People usually try not to make this go off. So, but with things like Gibbering Descent or if there's a bottomless pit in a Megrim, they can't help it.
Yeah, I mean, it goes off so easily.
It goes off so easily. Just you need to flick them, and it works. And it works for your instep too. So even if you have to go super slow and attack with like Kroxa or something and trigger this once on every your turn, it still might stick around.
I mean, if you play Kroxa, if you play this on turn 1 and then play Kroxa on turn 2, if somebody discards a land, you get a counter on this.
Who's not discarding a land at that point?
Exactly. You want to discard your best spells because
That's pretty sweet.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, Kroxa is a burglar rat. I didn't even think of it like that.
He's a really good burglar rat.
He's the first burglar rat is Kroxa.
Yeah. He's the burglar rat commander. It's official.
Yes. The next one, Cavalier Flame. We talk about this card all the time. It's 2 red, red, red for a 6/5. Pay 1 and a red. Creature you control get +1/+0 gain haste. When it enters the battlefield, you can discard any number of land cards and draw a card for each card you discard this way. That's great. Awesome filtering. When it dies, each opponent and all their planeswalkers are taking X damage, where X is the number of lands in our graveyard. It's a little bit of a nombo with Escape, but it's also just great filtering, and it can still do 5, 6, 7 damage. Or if we know we have this card, we don't have to escape.
I mean, yeah, we can hold off until we play this card.
This isn't a helpless deck without its commander. Its commander just helps us do our thing.
Yeah, the commander is just, like we said, it's just a burglar rat.
It's a burglar rat, which is going to clock them a lot later. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big old burglar rat.
Or if you have a bunch of cards, just don't escape lands.
Nope.
This deck doesn't have a lot of recursion.
No.
I would say artifacts and enchantments can go pretty much.
Oh, every time.
And then black creatures for call if you haven't played it already. Otherwise, just keep your lands if you know you have this guy.
Yeah, we're not playing the red cards that return artifacts, so artifacts and enchantments can get out of here. Enchantments cannot be recurred in these colors.
Yeah, not really. I mean, let's get to the next card though, which is going to make everything we said look ridiculous.
I guess slightly
Silly. Well, this card is slightly silly.
Yeah, I mean, it's slightly silly and it does make us sound like we just lied.
Right, this is a win con in itself. Underworld Breach, 1 and a red for an enchantment from Theros Beyond Death, brand new. Each non-land card in your graveyard has escape. The escape cost is equal to the card's mana cost. Plus, you exile 3 other cards from your graveyard. At the beginning of the end step, sacrifice Underworld Breach. It's sort of like the opposite of Yawgmoth's Will. Yawgmoth's Will says you can cast all your cards from your graveyard, but then they go to the exile, and then this thing goes away. But this is a do whatever you want, basically, but then it goes away at the end of the turn.
Nah, yeah, people have been breaking this card since it came out. There's a lot of ways to do it. We did it too.
Lion's Eye Diamond and Wheel of Fortune is the clickbait one. We don't have either of those cards. This is a deck that people can buy, so we don't have those cards in it.
This guy's way cooler. So basically, you need to have a lot of mana. So let's just say you cast Mana Geyser and you got 15 mana. Just for this.
Well, okay. You have Underworld Breach.
Yes.
Presumably, you got like 9 cards in your graveyard, or 6. It doesn't really matter. You're not casting Underworld Breach if you don't have at least 5 extra mana. So we were going to say you only need about 5. You play Mana Geyser, which is never in the history of the universe made less than 10 mana.
Well, I said 15. Each opponent has 5 tap lands.
Right, so now for every 3 cards in your graveyard, you get to cast Mana Geyser again. So if Mana Geyser nets you 10 mana, which you said it does, then you're going to go up 30 mana, or however many mana. Yeah, you're going to go up 30 mana. So now that you have 30 mana, all of it red, the card you really want, assuming you have a discard payoff like Megrim or multiple copies of Megrim or whatever.
Bloodchief Ascension, Loyal's Caress, there's other ones too.
You're gonna play
Waste Not.
Yeah. You're gonna play Burning Inquiry, which is 1 red for sorcery. Each player draws 3 cards, then each player discards 3 cards at random.
So what happens here is we have a ton of mana. So let's pretend like we have infinite mana. For the sake of it doesn't matter.
We have 30 red mana.
For the sake of it doesn't matter. So you draw. This card goes to the graveyard because you cast it. You draw 3 cards, you discard 3 cards at random. Now, you have the 3 cards with the Underworld Breach to escape and play it for 1 more red mana. Escape those 3 cards, do it again until your opponent dies.
Yes, if you only need 1 Megrim for this to just kill people, assuming your deck has enough cards in it, but it will. If not, adjust accordingly. Or cast Megrims from your graveyard because this thing does that.
Also, this isn't even so. Mana Geyser is so optional. If you have Underworld Breach, so it's just, you want to tap a 10 mana Underworld Breach. You already have a discard payoff in play, and now you cast Burning Inquiry 8 times with the rest of your mana.
Yeah, every time.
That's gotta kill somebody, right?
Every time Burning Inquiry resolves, your opponents take 6 damage. It provides the cards that they then discard. Doesn't matter if they have no cards in hand or not. They essentially mill 3, but you get to deal 6 to them. So 1 red mana deals 6 damage to each opponent. And then if you have 8 mana, what is it, 48? That's 48 damage?
You need 48 things. There you go. Exactly. So you will kill somebody. That's not even a ridiculous amount of mana they have in EDH at all. That can happen on like turn 6, 7 in EDH, easy.
Yeah, Mana Geyser is the safest way because it lets you go, okay, my graveyard's full, I'll cast this Rakdos Signet, which lets me cast Migrim, and then just kill you all with Burning Inquiry.
Absolutely awesome.
Even, I'll cast Gamble from my graveyard. Let me go find Burning Inquiry real quick. Oh, it doesn't matter if I discard it or not.
Yeah, it literally doesn't.
It's so sweet.
Wow, yeah, you can...
Like, once you have Underworld Breach, it's tough to not do this.
There's a lot of, you're just, and this is like the best thing to do with Underworld Breach. You can also just, again, you want to tap for like 10 mana. There's a lot of crazy things you can do with Underworld Breach. If there's 20 cards in your graveyard, you can...
Obviously, you can cast all 20 of them.
Yeah.
Not any 20 of them that will escape 3 cards.
Yeah, like go like
any combination.
Yeah, go like 2 payoffs and like a discard card. It just like rake in the Ernswell. That's amazing. That was a like ridiculous thing you just did in 1 turn.
They blew up your waste knot. Let's back.
Yeah, Underworld Breach is so versatile in so many ways.
We'll be talking about it in a future video.
We definitely will be talking about it in a future video. But this is this video, and that's the deck.
That's how you win. This deck is awesome. At least for that alone. Losing to Burning Inquiry, that's sweet.
No.
When has that card ever killed anybody?
Except
on turn 1.
When has it ever been played? Besides in Modern.
Yeah, turn 1's like, oops, I discarded all my lands.
Who put that in EDH? We did. We put it in EDH.
We are the first guys to ever do that. Go check it on EDH Track. It's in 1 deck.
Let's see how many it is. Check it. Check the number.
It's 1. I just told you. It's only in 1,000 decks. All of them are ours because we are the pioneers of this card.
1,000 decks? That's like nothing. That's really nothing.
That's really not nothing. I hope you enjoyed the video.
So special shout outs to all of our patrons, all 34 of them. 2 new ones. Brad, Adriana, thank you for joining our patron tiers of bread.
Yeah, we don't have a rule. We just like bread puns. We don't have a thank you for joining the something. I don't know, the Nitpicking Nerds Patreon. We have a Discord. Check it out. It's great. We love you guys. Also, shout out to our moms. They're as good as our patrons, about as helpful.
Yeah, they did literally give life to us. Also, if you can't support us on patreon.com/nitpickingnerds because you can't do a monthly thing, you can always go to buymeacoffee.com and buy us a coffee.
It's an online tip jar, so if you're like, oh, these guys are cool, I'll just leave like a $1 or $2 tip, like that's fine too. Also, this deck is in the description because TCG Player is we're like best buds with them. So go to the website TCG Player using our link in the description, and you can buy any card you want or the whole deck, and we get a little bit of kickback to help for our channel.
And we would appreciate that greatly. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out, Tribe Scout.